Hi there! Today we'll show you the Keyp Identity Platform and the Workflow Manager, and we'll show you how quickly and easily you can configure registration and login flows. Let's get right into it. So we start off with the login flow that you probably know from most web pages. You have a mobile button, or you have a button that triggers a flow. You have a customer identity, username, for instance, and a password, and then some sort of integration into your backend system. What we'll do now is we extend the possibilities for the user, and we'll add also a QR code as a potential trigger for a new customer that scans a QR code on a desktop web page, has a mobile button option on a mobile web page or application, and let's also add a push notification. And here you see now 3 triggers that we have set in the trigger area, which can start the process of registering as a user or logging into an account. And let's assume we're starting a registration for a new bank account. And what we need there is some video identification. So let's add a video identification here. And now you see I have 2 alternatives. Either I'm a customer that already has an identity and logs into its account, or I'm a new customer that has to go through a video identification. So additionally, we'll need an email address, a verified email address to communicate with our customer, and for KYC purposes also the home address of our new customer, and we'll use that address verification service here. Instead of a password, we'll use a stronger authentication, so we'll offer, for instance, a fingerprint authentication, and for a stronger authentication method, face recognition. So we can select that from the identity and authentication solutions from our marketplace and drop that in here. And let's say we take a third option, which would be behavioral authentication. And here we have a solution that is called continuous authentication. Based on how you hold and move your phone, it can authenticate you as a user. And as an integration, we'll use OpenID Connect. So now you've seen in a few seconds we've built a workflow that can, on the one hand, identify a new user based on video identification, email address and a home address, a strong authentication either via face recognition, continuous authentication or fingerprint, and for returning user we have the customer identity that would be used for logging in. Now what does this look like? This is another feature of the Keyp Identity Platform and Workflow Manager, is the live preview mode. So here we see on the left hand side the administrator's view that shows you which path has been chosen. So let's say we pick the path of a new registration where I have to go through every single identification method or solution and provide a video face recognition. And as a user, when I click on this video identification, I stay within the customer or the user experience of the bank, but will be forwarded to the user interface of the identity provider. So once I've done my identity or video identification, that information, that verified identity attribute is stored in my wallet. And here you can also switch over to what we call a login situation. So I've provided my identity attributes at another service, maybe a newsletter or maybe some postal service before. So my wallet already contains that information. In this case, for onboarding and for registering a new or opening a new bank account, all I need to do is a face verification where I tilt my head left and right for a live recognition, and I'm done. So in this particular case, account opening would be extremely quickly, extremely easy for the user. And at the same time as a bank, I get verified identity attributes. Now, let's say this is a case for a B2C account opening, and we want to transform that into an account opening for a business, so a B2B bank account. So instead of a home address, we'll ask for a certificate of company registry. So we just plug this in here and replace the address verification. And now we have here the identification of a business owner to open a B2B bank account. Now let's say the business owner also wants his employees or his tax advisor to access the account. So we'll allow him to provide a third-party approval for his employees or the tax advisor to access his account. And that's all you need to do, is just plug it in here, and it's an alternative path to access the account. Here on the right-hand side, you can see you can change also the validity of this third-party approval. So let's say we set it to 9 months, and after 9 months it will expire, and he will have to reassign it or renew it. Now, the way The path is chosen here is always by the cheapest possible path, or what a particular wallet contains. We can also override this, for example, for authentication, and we pick a financial risk scoring. So in case the user wants to access his account just to check a balance, we say this is level 1, it's the lowest risk level. A fingerprint might be sufficient. For anything else that is not a transaction, not a payment, we accept continuous authentication. And for a transaction, which we categorize as level 4 risk level, we always demand for face recognition. And with that, we can overrule the financial decision process and make it a risk-based decision. Now, to publish this or to provision this new configuration to the service integration, all we need to do is press this publish button. Then, depending on the enterprise and company setup, you might need legal or security approval to get this published. In our case, you have to be a Jedi, amongst other things. You hit publish, and the next person, the next user that scans the QR code or presses the mobile button, accesses the page, will go through the new login or registration process. So it's that easy and that instant. My name is Maxim, and we are Keyp.